Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NurAmyzaitulNabila binti Helmi. I am for ISM KRK Sem 4. Today I was presenting AVI groups, which is stand for Audio Video Interleave. Okay, Audio Video Interleave is a primarily digital video format that has been introduced by Microsoft in November 1992. It is also for Windows software. AVI files can contain both audio, video data and in a file container. An AVI file have a variety of codecs, but usually yet high quality video and typically generate a large file. It also synchronize audio and video playbacks. AVI also support multiple streaming audio and video, just like DVD video format. By 1996, AVI files were using a new file format extension developed by the Master OpenDML group, which is unofficially known as AVI 2.0. AVI format compressed. Okay. AVI is a sub-format of Resource Interchange File Format, which is RIFF. It's which divide a file's data into blocks or chunks. Each chunk is identified by a 4cc tag. An AVI file takes from the form of the single chunk in a RIFF format file, which is then subdivided into the two mandatory first chunk and one optional chunk. The first chunk is identified by the HDRL text, which is a file header and contain single chunk in a RIFF metadata about the video. The second subchunk is identified by a movie text, which is contain the actual audio video that make up the AVI movie. The third optional chunk is identified by the IDX1 text, which is indexes of offset of the data chunk within the file. AVI file header. The process can be classified as a method that uses the information or metadata in file system, and a file carving method that recover file based on signature and file architecture in the allocated space of a storage region without any information. Studies on the file carving have been focused on the recovery of the document and image file. Thus, there are few studies on the recovery of multimedia file like video, audio file, and the largely used multimedia files such as AVI can be exactly recovered by using an external format in file as they are continually allocated. Also, the file carving tools widely used at the present time cannot exactly recover NTFS compressed file. It is due to the fact that such carving tool that considered for the file as the NTFS compression has been frequently used to save data storage space. There are high possibility in presenting, deleting NTFS compressed file in unallocated space. If multimedia files are stored as the NTFS compressed file, the exact recovery of file is difficult. Therefore, it is necessary to study a recovery method for such deleting NTFS compressed file in a file carving. There are two methods of file carving. First is multimedia. The carving of multimedia file can be performed using an internal format by dividing the file using the signature of the file header. In general, although the files which are covered using the file carving method can be executed using a specific application, such a file if the data of file is perfectly present, the data of multimedia file can be verified by reproducing them to the middle of the recovered session through executing it if a space between a header of file and specific data or area exists in most multimedia file. Its purpose a file recovery method that can reproduce data for the carving of multimedia file based and characteristic of multimedia file, and the next section represent the carving of AVI, which is a two method of file carving. AVI file are most largely used video file at the present time. The AVI file internally use a resource interchange file format, RIFF. The RIFF is a common format used to store various types of data, such as image and video, as a single file and used as a base format of multimedia application of Windows. The RIFF consists of several chunks, lists, and data. It is used in a various file, but it shows different types of chunks and lists used inside the file. For carving AVI file, the signatures of header is first to identify. The AVI file header is size of 12 bytes, and figure 1 shows its structure. It can be seen that 4 bytes 0 times 5 to 494646 RIFF signature with offset 0, and the 0 times 41564920 AVI signature with offset 8 exists at the AVI file header. After verifying AVI files using such signature, it is possible to obtain the data of file using the size of 4 bytes with offset 4 that represent the size of the file. It should verify that whether the minimum data which is reproducible exists by checking the formats of AVI file before obtaining the file of data. If there is no reproducible data, the file is not recoverable. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am NurSyamimi binti Aziz. I am present for AVI, which is Video Audio Interleave. This figure shows the structure of AVI files, which is HDRL list, MOVI list, and IDX1 chunk. All these three are located under the most upper header. Actually, list and chunk is a basic data structure in AVI. The HDRL list defines the format of data, the MOVI list stores the actual data of streams, and the IDX1 chunk stores the data block information of the MOVI list. As the original data from the header to the header of the IDX1 chunk, the all streams that are actually reproduced can be recovered. Also, as a part of the MOVI list data exists, the recovery can be performed as much as the existing data, and that can also be reproduced. If the MOVI list does not exist, the recovery will not be carried out under the judgment that cannot recover the subject files. Okay, this figure shows the structure of HDRL list. The HDRL list exists right after the header, so we can find out that the 4 bytes for list signature, which is 0 times 4C4953 and 54 with offset 0, and the 4 bytes for HDRL signature 0 times 6864726C with offset 8 at the beginning of the HDRL list. Okay, for this figure shows the structure of MOVI list. For your information, if the signature of the HDRL list is checked, the beginning of the MOVI list can be seen using the list size with offset 4, as in this figure. Okay, as shown in this figure, the 4 bytes 0 times 4C95354 list signature with offset 0 here, and the 4 bytes 0 times 6D6F7669 MOVI signature with offset 8 are to be seen at the beginning of the MOVI list. If the signature of the MOVI list is checked and some part of data exists, the recovery can be attempted for checking whether files are perfectly present. It can be verified by moving the position to the beginning of the IDX1 chunk using the list size with offset 4. If the 4 bytes 0 times 69647831 IDX1 signature with offset 0. It is verified at the beginning of the IDX1 chunk, so it can be regarded that all practically reproducible data will exist. So that is all from me about IDX1 chunk and the two lists under the header. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm HusniUmaira binti Abu Hassan, and I'm presenting AVI file format, which stands for Audio Video Interleave. The AVI file format is based on the RIF, which is Resource Interchange File Format, document format. A RIF file consists of a RIF header followed by 0 or more lists and chunks. The RIF header has the RIF file size, file type form, where RIF is the literal 4cc code RIF. File size is a 4-byte value giving the size of the data in the file. And file type is a 4cc that identifies the specific file type. The value of file size includes the size of the file type 4cc plus the size of the data that follows, but does not include the size of the RIF 4cc or the size of file size. The file data consists of chunks and lists in any order. A chunk has the CK ID, CK size, and CK data form. CK ID is a 4-character that identifies the representation of the chunk data. A program reading a RIF file can skip over any chunk whose chunk ID it doesn't recognize. It simply skips the number of bytes specified by CK size plus the pad byte if present. CK size is a 32-bit unsigned value identifying the size of CK data. This size value does not include the size of the CK ID or CK size field or the pad byte at the end of CK data. CK data is the binary data of fixed or variable size. The start of CK data is word aligned with respect to the start of the RIF file. If the chunk size is an odd number of bytes, a pad byte with value 0 is written after CK data. Word aligning improves access speed for chunk resident in memory and maintains compatibility with EAIFF. The CK size value does not include in the pad byte. Size and CK data form. A list has the list size, list type, list data form, where list is the literal 4cc code list. List size is a 4-byte value giving the size of the list. List type is a 4cc code, and list data consists of chunks or lists in any order. The value of list size includes the size of list type plus the size of list data. It does not include the list 4cc or the size of file size. AVI list form. As for AVI list form, AVI files are identified by the 4cc AVI in the RIF header. All AVI files include two mandatory list chunks which define the format of the stream and the stream data. An AVI file might also include an index chunk which gives the location of the data chunk within the file. An AVI file with this component has the following form. The HDRL list defines the format of the data in the first required list chunk. The MOVI list contains the data of the AVI sequence and is the second required list chunk. The IDXL list contains the index. AVI must keep these three components in the proper sequence. The OpenDML extension defines another type of index, identified by the 4cc index. The HDRL and MOVI lists use subchunks for their data. As for AVI main header, the HDRL list begins with the main header, which is contained in an AVI chunk. The main header contains global information for the entire AVI file, such as the number of streams within the file and the width and height of the AVI sequence. The main header chunk consists of an AVI main header structure. Next, AVI stream headers. One or more STRL lists follow the main header. A STRL list is required for each data stream. Each STRL list contains information about one stream in the file and must contain a stream header chunk and a stream format chunk. In addition, a STRL list might contain a stream header data chunk and stream name chunk. A stream format chunk must follow the stream header chunk. The stream format chunk describes the format of the data in the stream. The data combined in this chunk depends on the stream type. For video streams, the information is a bitmap info structure, including palette information of inappropriate. For audio streams, the information is a wave format text structure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NurAzziefa binti Azhar from group AVI. AVI stands for Audio Video Interleave. Okay, I start from chunk. Chunk is the basic building block of a RIF file is called a chunk. Using C syntax, a chunk can be defined as follow RIF chunk. A 4cc is represented as a sequences of 1 to 4 ASCII alphanumeric character packed on the right with blank characters. ASCII characters value 32 as required with no embedded blank. Keywords in RIF chunk, RIF files, 4cc code in byte, in RIF chunk 4cc data type, in RIF chunk. Next, comparison of AVI and MP4. AVI Audio Video Interleave is also multimedia container. Format is a part of its video window touch introduced by Microsoft in 1992. In a reprisal of the MOV file format developed by Apple computers. AVI file can contain both audio and video data in a file container, able to support synchronized audio with video playback. When we compare MP4 with AVI, the first thing we take into consideration is the quality. Both MP4 and AVI are container formats. That is, MP4 and AVI are webs for video codecs, audio codecs, and other files. AVI is closely associated with DIVX codecs, which is notable for compressing video into small size with high visual quality. MP4 is based on MOV as a lossy format using MPEG-4 codecs. It is another problem when we come across the two formats. Both MP4 and AVI are popular video format. The AVI format is more likely to be used for Windows-based media player or other devices with related codec. Due to the large file size, AVI file is not commonly used for portable devices or video streaming sites. The MP4 format is widely used for all video players or portable devices, but also used for comparison of AV data for web and stream over the internet. The connection with file format that have 3 levels. First level, the RIF chunk descriptor that have chunk ID, chunk size, and format. For second layer, they have the format subchunk, included subchunk first ID, subchunk first size, audio format, num channel, sample rate, byte rate, block align, bits per sample. For the last layer that have the data subchunk, included subchunk second ID, subchunk second size, and data. Okay, similarities between AVI and MP4. First, both of them are multimedia containers for video with audio files. Second, MP4 and AVI are both wrappers for format video files. Third, both support a wide range of media players and mobile devices. So differences between AVI and MP4 with developer. For AVI use Microsoft and MP4 use MPEG. Okay, for pros and cons for AVI and MP4. The pros of AVI: first, compatible with almost all video and audio formats. Second, support almost all Microsoft system devices. Third, provide higher quality than other containers. For MPEG pros, first, compatible with most popular media players. Second, most video and audio file downloaded from the video are wrapped in the MP4 format. Third, friendly to most of the mobile devices. So the cons of AVI, less compatible with popular media players and mobile devices than MP4. For cons, MP4 take up more spaces than completely compressed file if being compressed partly by MP4.